Mr. Lee.
Sure. Two things on peacekeeping. I wanted to ask first. You keep saying that this auditing and reducing U.S. funding of international organizations is not yet signed, but the now confirmed U.S. Ambassador to the UN 3 times in her confirmation hearing said that the UN should not pay troop contributing countries whose peacekeepers are found to have abused. So I wanted to know, I guess I'm asking you again, what is the thinking, what's the threshold currently of the number of OIOS certified or probable cause findings that would trigger a cutting off of funding or the non-use in the future of a troop contributing country, given that 25 obviously doesn't make it?
These issues are being taken very seriously and are examined on a case-by-case basis.
And I wanted to know, one of the proposals that's been made even prior to the next year's budget is simply the possible veto or threat of veto of the renewing of mandates of peacekeeping missions. What I wanted to know is, how does that work? Has there ever, I've seen like the Georgia mission once was disbanded due to a naming issue, but are there contingency plans in place if the mandate for a functioning, several thousand troop peacekeeping mission comes up and it's not extended? What happens? How does it keep getting paid?
Well, we've had missions draw down. It happened. If I'm not mistaken, I think one of the UN's previous missions in Haiti at some point was vetoed by a permanent member of the Security Council. These things are extremely unfortunate, but we have to abide by the rulings of the Security Council. Mr. Lee, and then we'll go to Edie.
On Yemen, a Freedom of Information request has found that the UK Ministry of Defense is tracking over 250 allegations of humanitarian law violations by the Saudi-led coalition. So maybe, I guess I'm wondering, since Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, when he took them off the list, said that this process would continue in communications with the Saudis, number one, has this process involved getting information from other member states that are themselves, because they sell arms to Saudi Arabia, tracking them? And two, what did the Secretary General do between when he said that he was going to continue to look at this and the day that he left?
When I said, as soon as I have more to add on this process, I will do so.
But does the process involve, I'm just specifically asking the UK for this?
I can't answer to the details of that. Edie.
Stephane,
Mr. Lee.
Sure. I wanted to ask, now that Helen Clark has said that she'll be leaving by April 19th, can you describe what the process will be that Anthony Gutierrez will use to choose a new administrator of UNDP? Has he received nominations, for example? David Miliband,
he was informed by Helen Clark of her desire to step down at the end of her term. There is a determined process of consultations between the Secretary General and the Executive Board of UNDP on finding a successor, and that process will be followed.
Was yesterday he met with the French Minister of Development and Francophonie. I was kind of expecting some kind of a readout. Did I miss one?
No, I didn't. There was no readout that I know of.
And I wanted to ask, I guess related to that, there are some in the South Korean media are asking to know where it's available to find the daily schedules that are put up every day. Are they just thrown out, or is there some repository of who met with the Secretary General?
I'm glad you've asserted a role as spokesman for the South Korean media, but they can look on the website and everything should be archived.
We
can help.
And I have one last question. Actually,
yes, go ahead.
The UN pension, the UN Joint Staff Pension Fund, supposedly keeps something called a hospitality log that whistleblowers there have said, which is basically a logging of, they're calling it wining and dining, but essentially entertainment expenses for involved in speaking with stockbrokers and other financial professionals. And what I'd like to know is, given the sort of controversial nature of this type of expense, is it possible to get that disclosed? Does the Secretary General believe that UN system hospitality logs should be disclosed?
Let me look into it and see what this is all about.